So there's the 7 phases of the lead. There's 100 visitor tests. So the next thing I want to talk about are the actual building blocks of these funnels. Okay? If we understand these building blocks, it'll make it a lot easier for the next session. We're going to start mapping out our sales funnels, and then after lunch when we start playing with ClickFunnels. Okay? All right, so this is basically the graphic I made. I remember one day we sat down in the office in our big old whiteboard, and we mapped out these different phases. And so obviously I didn't write down the traffic temperature. There's not really blocks for that. So the other 6, so here's our 6 phases that we just went through. Now each of these phases, there's only a couple options for each one of them. Okay, and I'll show you guys some examples. So for the pre-frame, for a long time people always ask me, well, how do you do pre-frames? How do you do pre-frames? I never had like a way to kind of show, like we do them all the time, but like, anyway, so the first time I really thought about it, we sat down and said, okay, when we do pre-frames, what are the ways we do them? And these are basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's 7 pre-frames that we use. Okay, the very first one, and that image is in your book, so I'm going to go over to the internet to show you guys some examples of these things. All right, so the first one I'm going to talk about is a quiz. So quiz is like, this is like my new exciting thing I figured out in the last couple months. And the rulers I figured out is Glenn Ledwell. They're in our other mastermind. They own a company called Mind Movies. And they had this webinar they were driving traffic to on Facebook. And they're averaging like 1.5% conversion rate on Facebook. And they couldn't get it to, they were barely breaking even on their media spend and how much they were making on the actual webinar. They kept trying thing after thing after thing, and nothing was going to work for them. And so one day they put up this quiz. And I wonder if I can find their quiz for you real quick. I might not be able to. But they put up this quiz. So they add this little quiz to the front of their funnel. And so on Facebook, they drive people here on Facebook to this page. It's just a little video basically saying, or here's the headline, here's a 30-second quiz that's going to reveal to you your number 1 income-crushing problem. They drove them this quiz. You click down here to take the quiz, and it pops up. And then they ask some questions. And the questions don't even matter, you guys. It's just getting them engaged in this process. They ask these questions, question, and then it gets them to opt in. Now, if you just answered 15 bajillion questions, you're going to opt in this point? You're like, all right, fine, let's find out the results. They opt in, and then it takes the next page where they sell them on the webinar. Okay? So adding in this quiz that really does nothing at all, takes everyone to the same I think they may segment a little bit, but the ones that we do, it does nothing. It just takes them to the next page, and all of a sudden they take it, they more than double their conversion. It went from a campaign that was barely profitable to a campaign that was doubling over on the front end, okay, by adding this little quiz. So quiz is, I think, one of the best. I'm convinced right now that it's probably one of, if not the best pre-frame, especially coming from Facebook-style traffic, because people like taking quizzes, which is weird to me because I've never taken a quiz. Anyone here like taking quizzes? Isn't that weird? Yeah, a couple people like quizzes. I don't. I would never take a quiz, but people do apparently, and it more than doubled their conversion. So here's a couple examples. Here's a landing page we have that just has a little quiz. Okay, this is our landing page we took people through for our body evolution test. This is remember I was telling you guys about Carrie's dirty little weight loss secret. So there's a headline: My weight loss dirty little secret. Come down here. Step 1: How did you hear about us? Dr. Oz, Jillian Michaels, Biggest Loser. We weren't on any of those, by the way. None of them. Not a single one. But I want people to be like, oh, she was on Dr. Oh, Biggest Loser. I have heard of this before. Yeah, none of those. Okay? But just the fact that they're like, oh, cool, pre-frame, right? Does that change the perspective, your perspective before you go to the next page? So they like that. Oh, I saw you on Biggest Loser, I think. Boom, get your email. Okay, so pre-frame was that first little page. Boom, now squeeze page, qualify subscribers. See how fast and easy that was? Boom, boom. Is there a question? Someone asked a question there. No? Okay. So there's an example. This is the new one that we're about to launch. So here's the page. There's a video of me talking, and then there's a little quiz. Step 1: How'd you hear about us? So it's a multi-step one. I heard about you from radio. Okay. And I've got the next video. So I have a video for each question. They go through and they ask each thing. And I've just got these little quiz. After they go through a bunch of them, it will be, the quiz functionality is not in there yet, but we've got like 7 or 8 quiz templates we are putting in there. So within the next 30 days, it'll all be in there, yeah. And then, boom, so I pre-framed them, boom, qualifying a subscriber at the end. Yeah, yeah. And the other, yeah, so he was saying for the camera, like, when he put up a squeeze page the first time, he was like, oh, these people are not going to see my sales letter now. And he's right, 70% of them never see the sales letter. Those who do come in, now you can follow up, and there's so much more value in those names afterwards that you end up making 10 times as much money. People like to see that. Same right here, there's a progress bar at the top, step 1, step 2, step 3. I agree 1,000,000%. People like seeing that, and they like knowing that there's a process and it's not going infinite. That's like the other one I showed you, the My Movies one, doesn't really show that, it just keeps going and going. I like showing the steps. So that's the first pre-frame is quiz. Quizzes, like I say, guys, I think for us, that's going to be one of the biggest things we keep doing moving forward. I'm excited to test this new funnel out. Like I say, ClickFunnels, we're building out a whole bunch of really cool quiz templates in there because I want everyone to be able to do it as well. But they're not in there as of today. And this is a really good strategy. When you're looking back here at the this part, a lot of times traffic coming, you have no idea who they are. And so you ask quiz questions to segment where they're at. And so you can find out, you ask a question about like, are you just getting started? You've been doing this for a while, blah, blah, blah. And then based on that, you have a different landing page video for each one. So that's definitely something you can do. I'm not doing it with this funnel because this funnel I'm only targeting these people. But if I was doing one where it's more generic, I definitely would want to do that. Great question. I think when we do ours, we'll have a video of me being like, hey, this is Russell. I got this coolest quiz. It's going to show you how to double your traffic conversion and sales. Come take this quiz and we'll show you how to do it. So take the quiz, find out how to double their traffic conversion and sales. And the way they do that is they register for my webinar where I'm going to teach them how to double their traffic conversion and sales. Like that's the slippery slope we're taking them through. Okay? All right. So quizzes as a pre-frame. Next one. So the next one, like article, news, blog. You guys know what those are. But this is an example. If you look at anyone who's crushing it with banner ads especially, they're almost always driving somebody through a site like this. It looks like a news site. Here's a video of Dr. Oz, and they're talking about blah, 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 blah. And they're pre-framing this thing. And the bottom is like, hey, this product down here actually does it. You click on there, now it takes you to your landing page. Okay? Now you have to be careful with these because a lot of people were making these fake news sites and fake things. And FTC came down and slapped them really, really hard. The biggest key to any kind of marketing, guys, is don't be an unethical piece of garbage. Like, tell the truth, and it's really weird. Like, you don't get in trouble. You start lying, you do. So don't do what the people got in trouble, make fake news sites. But you can set up a blog, like this is Health Lifestyles. Here's Health Lifestyle at blog. The very top says advertisement, and this is an article. It's got a video clip from Dr. Oz talking about, which I wouldn't recommend doing. He's going after people right now. But conceptually, you see how it works. Like, it's like a news site or an article or a blog doing that. In our Make Money stuff, what I did one time that worked really, really well, I had one of our students, Justin Brook, you guys know him. I was like, hey man, can you write an article about your experience with me? And then at the bottom, I'm going to put a link back to my product. He's like, yeah, sure. So he wrote an article on his blog about me and our experience with me, and then put a link back to my free plus shipping product. And then we drove traffic directly to his blog. And now what is it? Third-party testimonial, someone saying, oh, I'm cool, they come click over here and they buy my thing. Now, they didn't know that I engineered that and made it work, but it worked great. Okay, so somebody else's blog is a great pre-frame, especially advertising on Facebook. Like, and I can use Justin's him as an ad, like a bunch of stuff you can do. So look at that as another pre-frame. News sites, blogs. Video works really good as well. We've had a lot of success to driving people straight to a YouTube page. Like, hey, check out this video on YouTube. They go to the YouTube page and watch this video, and there's a call to action and push them back to our thing. Okay, it's a pre-frame. It's this thing in front of it that gets them to like go check out the other thing. Okay. Emails, I consider email a pre-frame. If I buy a solo ad and sending email out, that is a pre-frame. That's the thing. It stems back from the days of direct mail. So back in the day, before email and the internet and all this kind of stuff, what would happen is I would go to somebody who had a product, and I'd be like, hey, or somebody had a list, and I'd be like, hey, will you send my sales letter to your list? And the person would be like, sure. And I'd be like, hey, what would be really cool is if you put a lift letter on the front of it. And lift letter is a one-page letter. It says, hey, this is Russell. My buddy Joe just showed me this really cool offer. I checked it out. It's awesome. I recommend it. You should check it out from Russell. And they put this lift letter on top of your sales letter, and they'd ship out that package. By adding that lift letter, it would increase response 2 or 3 times over. Okay, it's the same thing with an email. Email is just a lift letter you're sending out to your audience saying, hey, Russell's got this really cool thing. Check it out. They click there and go to the thing. Okay, so email, lift letter, whatever you want to call it, is a great pre-frame. And then a pre-sale page. This is one of the coolest pre-sale pages. And you guys know Andre Chaperone? He does these pre-sale pages, like the coolest thing in the world. So he like has something he wants to sell. So he goes and he writes this page, and we're making templates and ClickFunnels for this. They're not in there yet, but they're cool. So this is an example, one called Zero to Hero. And he's telling a story about a newbie went from zero to hero in 7 weeks. It's just like him telling a story. It's an article. It shows pictures. It's kind of like a sales letter, but it's not. It's just like an article. And he just tells you some stuff, and then at the end, he pushes you to go here to the actual page where he sells you stuff. So this is a pre-sale little page that he does. He does this as an affiliate. He does going to promote something. He write a little pre-sale page like that, telling the story, showing a bunch of stuff. He drives people to the pre-sale page, which then takes them to the actual sales page. Okay, it's a really cool strategy. Because a lot of times you send someone directly as an affiliate, send them to somebody else's offer. The page might not convert well. So you add a pre-sale page, and you can double, triple how much money you're going to make on an affiliate campaign. So pre-sale pages work awesome. Okay, any questions about pre-frame pages, that first category? Awesome. Okay, the second step now is we got to qualify subscribers. All right, the most simple way is a squeeze page. We've got like 40 squeeze page templates inside ClickFunnels, but this is basically what a squeeze page is. I'm sure most of you guys know what it is, but for anyone who doesn't, squeeze pages come from back in the day. Do you remember like 10 years ago you go on the internet and you go to somebody's website and these really annoying things would pop up in your face? They're like, congratulations, you won a blah, 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 blah. Give us your email address and so you put your email address in to win the free thing, and then you'd be added to that person's list, right? And so everyone's making insane amounts of money with these pop-ups, right? They put pop-ups on the site, drive tons of traffic, and just start building these lists of hundreds of thousands of people really, really fast. But unfortunately, pop-ups drove everybody crazy, and so Google and everyone started putting pop-up blockers everywhere, and pop-ups stopped working. And so all these marketers were freaking out, like, how are we going to get email addresses? Like, that's how we're making our money. We need email addresses. And so I've heard like 5 people claim they invented the squeeze page, but I think it was Dean Jackson. He's like the most reliable source, I think, of the group. But he was like, hey guys, what if we took that good old pop-up that made us all that money, instead of having it, here's your website, and then the thing pops up, what if we took that pop-up and made that the first page? And we sent people to that page, they had the headline and they get their email address, and then from there, we show them our actual sales message. People are like, you're stupid. Like, why would you do that? No one's going to ever see this page. It's like, I think it'll work. I think it'll work. So we put it up there, tested it out, and sure enough, when all said and done, what typically would happen, let's say you get 30% of people to show up here, or 30% of people will give you their email address. Only 30% ever hit this page, 70% don't, but now you got them on your list. And we talked yesterday about the power of a list. Now you can follow up with them. You can try to sell them this thing over and over again. I read one time that it takes an average person 7 times getting to know you or experiences or touches with you before they feel comfortable enough to buy. So a lot of people will buy the first time, but a lot of them won't. So you follow up them 3 or 4 or 5 times, your conversion, let's say you have a 1% conversion on this page, it'll change to a 2% and a 3% and a 5% just by having a really good sequence. And again, we'll talk about it tomorrow. But the key here is these squeeze pages give you the ability to do that. So this is an example of a squeeze page, a very, very, very simple one. And when I show you guys ClickFunnels after lunch, you'll see like 40 or 50 really high converting ones you can use just with the click of a button. Yeah. So there are some circumstances where I don't want an email, where I don't do a squeeze page or something like that, but they're rare and far between. I would say as a standard rule to just do one. So we got squeeze page, here's qualified subscribers. You have pop-ups. You guys are all familiar with pop-ups. They're not nearly like what they used to be, but there's new software that you can get through them. So there still are pop-ups that work. A squeeze pop, so this is something we added in ClickFunnels right now that's pretty cool, is a squeeze pop is basically you can take this little thing, this little line of code and put it on your website. It's just a button. It says, hey, click here to get my free newsletter or whatever. And they click on that and it pops up and then somebody can go and subscribe. So we call those squeeze pops. Free plus shipping. Here's an example of a free, let's see. Here's our free plus shipping page for our Skinny Bean diet. You notice it looks just like the .com Secrets Labs one for anyone who's done that. So there's our page. They click here, and step 1 asks for their shipping address. So we get their email address, shipping, and then step 2, we get their actual credit card. So everyone that fills out step 1, we're added to our list. So we use that as a tool to get people to join our list. Webinar registrations. This is an example of a webinar registration page. Okay, this is our .com Secrets local one. They come here, they pick, it's almost like a little quiz. They pick which day they want to register. They put their email address in, and boom, now they're on my list, right? They've qualified themselves as a subscriber. Free account, I was checking out Shopper Approved yesterday. So that's these guys' company over here. So this is what they do to get subscribers. You come here and like, hey, get a free account. So I come down here at the bottom. I create my free account. Guess what they get? Boom, they got my email address. Now I'm on a list. Now they can follow up with me, they can close me. So if you got any kind of software or something you can give away a free account, and boom, now you got them on your list. Okay? and then exit pop, someone's leaving your site, you have a pop-up and also grab their stuff. So when I'm trying to qualify subscribers, those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different ways I'm trying to get people on my list. Okay, so I'm creating an offer, I'm looking at which one of these 7 things should I do. Okay, if this offer, do I want a squeeze page? Yes. Or no, I don't want a squeeze page, I want to do a webinar registration. Or how about we give them a free account, and then from there we'll do the next thing. So I'm going to do a free account. So I pick one of these 7 building blocks. Okay, you guys can see I'm going through this. Like the way, when I create any offer, so what we do is sit down. We look at the 6 steps here, and pre-frame, I'm like, which one do I want to do? Okay, let's do a quiz for this pre-frame. Let's do free plus shipping 2-step with my qualify subscribers. Okay, step 3 now, how am I going to qualify my buyers? And I go through here, and I'm picking one of these building blocks for each step. Okay, so all right, so number 3 is qualifying buyers. The easiest way, or my favorite way, as you guys all know now, is free plus shipping stuff. Here is Ryan and Perry's free credit card offer. Just, I mean, look how simple that is. Free credit card knife. Like, that's like the easiest pitch ever. They charge, let's see. So $295 shipping and handling. You click here, get your credit card, boom, they just qualified a buyer. Okay? So free plus shipping is good. Trial stuff is good. So .com Secrets X. This is one of our programs we've made insane amounts of money on. We just do $1 trial. Give us $1, get a free 30 days to our membership site. Okay, easy way, low barrier of entry to get somebody in. So trials are a great way to qualify buyers. Tripwires, that's what Ryan and Perry call these tripwires. I call them free plus shippings. Tripwires are also, they do a lot of like $7 reports. It's like, hey, buy this report on whatever, pay $7, you can get it. So I consider Tripwire like a really, really low ticket product. I don't like those as much as free plus shipping for all the reasons I told you guys earlier, but there's that. Self-liquidating offer is something that's usually more expensive, like a $37 product. And then a straight sale is like just more expensive, like $100, I'm trying to sell that. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to qualify my buyers. It's usually one of those. Okay. Now in most cases, for me, I'm going to do free plus shipping. That's my favorite. But not all cases. Like when we did our neuropathy supplement, we did free plus shipping for a while, but we couldn't get the numbers quite to work out on it. And so we shifted it to a straight sale, and that's what made it all worked for me on a straight sale. So sometimes when you're doing your funnel, you're testing it out, you try one thing and it doesn't work, you don't have to scrap the whole thing. It's like, okay, well, for this market or this traffic, whatever reason, the free plus shipping didn't work, so let's try a tripwire this time. Or let's try this, and you can just shift out the piece that doesn't work. Okay? If you look at the Body Evolution offer that I showed you guys the other day, I'm not sure I can find that paper. Remember I was showing you like we had 38% opt-in here, 0.76%, da-da-da-da. So the 0.76%, we were going with the self-liquidating offer. We were selling the $47 product and was not converting, so we decided to shift it to a free plus shipping, and we'll find out, but I think the new version will convert a lot better. So I don't have to redo the whole funnel, just shifting which building block I use sometimes will fix or change or alter the offer. Okay? That's my qualifying buyers. Now I got to find out my buyers in heat. So after they bought something, I need to upsell them something else, right? So this is an example. I thought this page was really cool. This is Ryan Perry's upsell page for one of their offers. So there's a video like, wait, before you move on, there's another offer. So this is something that just bought my free plus shipping thing. Then they come to a page like this was a video, and then there's an add to cart like, buy the next thing, the more expensive thing. Okay, so that's an example of that. We've got a whole bunch of pages like that inside of ClickFunnels as well. So there's one-time offer pages. Then after somebody buys that, usually if they say no to that, then they'll have a downsell. Sometimes we'll refer other people's products, and then we have bumps, which is just a lot of times things where we'll increase the price of something like right on the order button. Like an example of that. Let's see if I can show an example of a bump. So .com Secrets, this is an example of a bump. So here I'm asking for their credit card info, and then right here, you see I really quick like, hey, for an extra $37, you want this? That's what I call a bump. Like in the order process, I'm like, hey, you want this really quick? Amazon, you see it all the time. Like, hey, you bought this, you want to buy this too? I call those bumps. Okay, so that's how I identify my buyers in heat is through one of those 4 processes: upsells or one-time offers, downsells, recommend somebody else's product, or I do bumps in the process. Okay, those are the 4 ways I do that. And typically, you can do, and I'll show you guys this in the next session, but we can do multiple upsells and downsells. It doesn't have to be just one, but it's always one of those four things. Okay. Now, after we've got them in the process and we've identified the buyers in heat, we finished our first date, we both went home. Now it's time for me to the courting relationship. I'm going to age and ascend the relationship. So I'm going to do that through a bunch of different things, through product launches. through a webinar, through automated webinar, through teleseminars, a whole bunch of different ways to do that. And then the last step, when I'm trying to change the environment for me, we go to an application page where they apply to come work with me. Let them apply, and I think most of you guys probably fill out this form, I'm guessing. There's an application form to come in and come and work with us. Okay? So that's changing. You get phone sales, seminars, face-to-face selling. So those are kind of the building blocks we use for each of those 6 steps. Does that help you guys kind of see how we do our process? Okay? So when you're building your stuff out, like I said, what I do is I'm always looking at this. Okay, for this new offer we're creating, what's the pre-frame? Okay? I'm going to do a quiz because Russell, that's awesome. I think they're cool. Second step, how am I going to qualify my subscribers? I'm going to do a squeeze page, or let's do whatever. Third is I'm qualifying buyers. I'm going to do free plus shipping. Fourth, I'm going to do an upsell, so I'm going to do a one-time offer. Fifth, I'm going to do, after we've got them, then let's put them onto a webinar. We're going to sell them my $2,000 product. And after the webinar is over, let's get them to apply it on a phone call. We'll sell them our $15,000 thing. Okay? And that's literally what I do, you guys. If you were to pay me a ton of money, come to my office, and we sat down in front of our whiteboard, that's the process we'd go through, and we map out, okay, this is going to be your front end, this is going to be your back end, your upsell, your down. So we map the whole thing out. You'd have that, and then we go build it. Okay? So what we're going to do next, we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, I'm going to show you guys our 9 core funnels. Okay, so my favorite way to build things out of these 31 building blocks, I'm showing you my favorite ones. And then during lunch, you guys are going to have a chance to sit down on your own and kind of map out what your funnel is going to look like. And after lunch, I'm going to have a couple of you guys come up and be like, okay, this is going to be my front end, my upsell, my downsell, and you're going to see you're going to build out the whole thing for us all to see. It's going to be awesome. And then after that, we're going to go into ClickFunnels and build some. It's going to be fun.